From the very first creature discovered to the final entry ever recorded. This is not just a Pokédex. This is every Pokémon brought into the real world. For decades, these creatures lived only in games, cards, and imagination. Today, they step beyond the screen. Every region, every generation, every evolution. What you're about to see is a complete journey through the Pokémon universe, reimagined as if they truly existed among us. Sit back and experience the Pokédex like never before. Bulbasaur roams humid undergrowth, the bud on its back soaking up gentle rays. Ivysaur's blossom swells heavier each day, a sign that power is awakening inside. When Venusaur's flower is in full bloom, the ground itself feels richer around it. Charmander guards the flame on its tail, a tiny inferno that mirrors its life force. Charmeleon clashes with foes, every swipe of its claws leaving sparks in the air. Charizard carves through the clouds, tracing lines of fire across the horizon. Squirtle basks at riverbanks, retreating into its sturdy shell at the first sign of trouble. Wartortle kicks through the waves, its fluffy tail steering it like a rudder. Blastoise plants its feet and fires, water jets blasting through stone as if it were paper. Caterpie inches along branches, always nibbling, always growing. Metapod hangs in silence, its hard shell hiding a quiet transformation. Butterfree drifts over fields, its powdery wings leaving a shimmering trail behind. Weedle weaves through thickets, its stinger raised against careless predators. Kakuna clings to trees, motionless, storing energy for the moment it awakens. Beedrill slices the air in swarms, double stingers ready to strike without mercy. Pidgey rides soft breezes, picking at seeds and bugs on forest floors. Pidgeotto circles open plains, sharp eyes locked on prey from above. Pidgeot tears through the sky, its wings beating faster than the eye can follow. Rattata darts along paths, razor teeth able to gnaw through almost anything. Raticate patrols its territory, its powerful incisors a constant threat. Spearow chirps harshly, never staying still in the open sky. Fearow glides on wide wings, its spear-like beak striking down in an instant. Ekans coils through tall grass, its scales whispering against the ground. Arbok flares its hood, eerie patterns sending a clear warning. Stay away. Pikachu stores crackling energy in its cheeks, tiny paws ready to unleash a shock. Raichu's tail hums with voltage, grounding bolts that could level small trees. Sandshrew burrows deep, its sandy hide blending perfectly with the desert. Sandslash curls into a living, spiked wheel, rolling straight through danger. Nidoran female crouches low in the grass, poisonous spines ready if cornered. Nidorina keeps close to her group, cautious but fiercely protective. Nidoqueen's armoured body stands between her family and any threat. Nidoran hops forward without fear, trusting in the venom on its horn. Nidorino charges hard, toxic horn glowing with dangerous energy. Nidoking stomps through the earth, a brutal mix of muscle, horn, and poison. Clefairy gathers under the moon, their soft steps echoing like stardust. Clefable drifts near still lakes, responding to the quiet songs of the night sky. Vulpix's 6 tails curl and flick, each one holding a flicker of hidden fire. Ninetail's golden fur shimmers, its burning curse said to last a lifetime. Jigglypuff hums a lullaby, scribbling on those who fall asleep mid-song. Wigglytuff's plush body hides surprising resilience and power. Zubat darts through caves, seeing with sound where eyes are useless. Golbat swoops in the dark, fangs ready to drain the strength from its prey. Oddish wanders at night, planting its roots to drink in the moon-charged soil. Gloom drips with foul nectar, its smell driving away most who come near. Vileplume's massive petals release pollen that can both dazzle and destroy. Paris scuttles through forests, mushrooms on its back slowly taking control. Parasect moves at the fungus's command, its old self buried long ago. Venonat's fuzzy body conceals keen, compound eyes that see what others can't. Venomoth flutters by lamplight, glowing scales drifting down like toxic snow. Diglett tunnels beneath fields, unseen but felt as the ground shifts. Dugtrio erupts from the earth as one, 3 minds sharing a single purpose. Meowth sneaks down alleyways, eyes always on anything that shines. Persian walks with regal calm, its swift claws ready if respect is not given. Psyduck holds its aching head, mysterious power building behind its blank stare. Golduck slices through water, moving like a sleek blue spear. Mankey swings from branch to branch, anger sparking at the smallest provocation. Primeape becomes a whirlwind of fists, impossible to calm once it snaps. Growlithe stands by its trainer's side, loyal heart blazing hotter than its flames. Arcanine races across continents, a mythical runner cloaked in fire. Poliwag drifts near the surface, the swirl on its belly spinning with every breath. Poliwhirl stirs ponds as it turns, its spiral said to hypnotize those who stare too long. Poliwrath dominates wild rapids, fighting currents with pure strength. Abra naps constantly, vanishing to safety the moment danger approaches. Kadabra bends spoons and space alike, warping reality with a single thought. Alakazam's twin spoons focus a mind sharper than any blade. Machop trains with boulders, building a body made for combat. Machoke wears its belt like a seal, holding back destructive power. Machamp's 4 arms strike from every angle, overwhelming foes in seconds. Bellsprout sways in the breeze, thin stem hiding surprising speed. Weepinbell hangs quietly from trees, waiting to drop on unsuspecting prey. Victorybell lures victims with sweet scent, then devours them in an instant. Tentacool floats near the surface, its nearly transparent body hiding venom-tipped tentacles. Tentacruel rises from the deep, its many limbs gripping the sea like a throne. Geodude rests among stones, often kicked by travelers who mistake it for a rock. Graveler rolls downhill, crushing everything unlucky enough to be in its way. Golem's rocky shell shrugs off explosions, its steps leaving tremors behind. Ponyta gallops over fields, flames trailing from its mane like ribbons. Rapidash sprints faster than the wind, a blazing comet on 4 legs. Slowpoke stares at the water, forgetting why it came to the river in the first place. Slowbro moves calmly with Shelder on its tail, the 2 living as one. Magnemite hovers near power lines, feeding on stray currents. Magneton's combined force warps magnetism around it, disrupting machines nearby. Farfetch'd clutches its leek like a treasured weapon, never letting it go. Doduo sprints on 2 legs, its twin heads arguing about where to run. Dodrio thunders across the land, 3 minds scanning in every direction. Seal slides over ice floes, barking playfully between dives. Dugong glides under frozen seas, its horns slicing through slush and snow. Grimer oozes through city waste, turning pollution into its next meal. Muck leaves a poisonous trail, its presence marked by a suffocating stench. Shelder clamps onto rocks, grinning as waves crash over it. Cloyster's spiked shell repels almost any attack, secrets locked inside. Ghastly floats as a toxic cloud, licking fear into anyone it touches. Haunter peeks from walls, its jagged grin glowing in the dark. Gengar hides in shadows behind you, laughing softly when you shiver. Onyx bores through mountains, its stone segments grinding like thunder. Drowsy sniffs out dreams, feeding on sweet ones like a nightly snack. Hypno swings its pendulum, drawing minds into deep, eerie sleep. Krabby scuttles along shorelines, its claws snapping at drifting seaweed and shells. Kingler's oversized pincer slams down with enough force to shatter boulders. Voltorb masquerades as a Pokeball, ready to explode at the slightest shock. Electrode rolls recklessly, its stored power always on the verge of detonation. Execute clusters together, each face reacting differently to the world. Executor towers like a walking palm tree, every head thinking its own thoughts. Cubone gazes at the moon, clutching the skull of the one it lost. Marowak hardens its heart, wielding its bone club with precise, painful strikes. Hitmonlee's legs stretch and snap, delivering kicks from impossible distances. Hitmonchan's punches change types, each fist mimicking a different element. Lickitung explores everything with its tongue, leaving nothing untouched. Coughing bobs in polluted air, puffing out gas that makes eyes water. Wheezing hovers as twin spheres, spreading toxic fumes with every sigh. Rhyhorn barrels forward without thinking, crushing rocks and trees alike. Rhydon stands upright, drilling through solid stone with its horn. Chansey cradles its egg gently, sharing it with those in desperate need. Tangela wraps itself in vines, its true body hidden from prying eyes. Kangaskhan charges with its child in its pouch, striking down any threat. Horsey rides the currents, puffing ink when startled. Seadra's sharp fins and spines warn hunters to keep their distance. Goldeen twirls her tail gracefully, horn gleaming as she swims. Seaking claims rivers and lakes, ramming rivals with its lance-like horn. Staryu's core glows softly, even when its limbs are broken off. Starmie spins like a star-shaped beacon, its gem shining in many colors. Mr. Mime shapes invisible walls, trapping attacks, and sometimes people mid-air. Scyther cleaves through tall grass, blades whistling with every swing. Jinx dances in the snow, eerie song echoing through frozen valleys. Electabuzz stalks storm clouds, drawing lightning straight into its body. Magmar lives near molten rock, its blood as hot as lava. Pincea's horns snap shut with crushing force, lifting foes clean off the ground. Taurus storms across the plains, all 3 tails whipping as it charges. Magikarp splashes desperately, weak now but refusing to give up. Gyarados erupts from the depths, rage turning calm seas into chaos. Lapras ferries travelers on its back, singing soft, haunting melodies over the waves. Ditto melts and reforms, perfectly copying whatever stands before it. Eevee's unstable genes hold countless possibilities, branching into many futures. Vaporeon slips into water and vanishes, body merging with the waves. Jolteon crackles with static, fur standing on end like a living thundercloud. Flareon's inner fire burns intensely, every breath warm as a furnace. Porygon flickers between worlds, a Pokémon born from pure data. Omanyte, revived from fossilized shells, clings to rocks in ancient seas reborn. Omastar grips prey with spiraled tentacles, dragging it into its jagged beak. Kabuto crawls along the seafloor, unchanged since prehistoric times. Kabutops stalks like a reaper, scythe arms slicing through the water. Aerodactyl screeches overhead, a Stone Age terror ruling the open sky. Snorlax dozes wherever it pleases, turning roads into dead ends. Articuno glides on icy winds, each wingbeat sprinkling frozen mist. Zapdos splits the sky with thunder, storms gathering in its wake. Moltres soars in a blaze, its fiery wings igniting the very air. Dratini hides in deep waters, growing stronger where few can see it. Dragonair drifts through clouds, its serene presence calming even storms. Dragonite crosses oceans in a single night, a gentle titan with immense might. Mewtwo was created in a lab, overwhelming power bound to a restless spirit. Mew plays among the clouds, a tiny myth said to hold the genes of all Pokémon. Chikorita walks gently through the tall grass, sensing the air with its leaf. Bayleaf releases a warm, spicy aroma that energizes those around it. Meganium radiates a soothing aura wherever it steps. Nature briefly blooms brighter. Cyndaquil flares its flames when startled. Its small body stores a surprisingly intense heat. Quilava controls its flames with precision. It moves gracefully through the hot winds it creates. Typhlosion's heat distorts the air around it. When enraged, it erupts like a living volcano. Totodile bites anything playfully, unaware of its strength. Croconaw waits patiently underwater. Its jaws can crush stone with ease. Feraligatr dominates swamps with raw power. Its charging speed can catch anyone off guard. Sentret stands tall on its tail to keep watch. Furret slips through the grass like a ribbon of wind. Its long body lets it escape through tiny gaps. Hoot Hoot keeps perfect rhythm, shifting its weight every second. Villagers trust its timing more than clocks. Noctowl flies without a sound. Its sharp eyes see clearly through even the darkest nights. Ladybug communicates through gentle pheromones. It feels safest when surrounded by its group. Ledian glows softly under starlight. The more light it absorbs, the stronger its punches become. Spinarak reads vibrations on its web like text. It can identify prey from a single tremor. Ariados stalks silently through the night. Its threads are stronger than steel and placed with precision. Crobat darts through the sky at incredible speed. Chinchou lights the deep sea with its antennae. The brightness of its glow reflects its mood. Lantern is known as the ocean star. It guides lost Pokémon with its gentle underwater light. Pichu releases sparks without meaning to. Its tiny body struggles to hold all that electricity. Cleffa appears on nights filled with shooting stars. It dances as if following a celestial rhythm. Igglybuff bounces softly wherever it goes. Its sweet voice carries farther than expected. Togepi carries happiness inside its shell. It warms anyone who holds it. Togetic floats gently near kind-hearted people. Its presence feels like a soft blessing. Natu hops in place while staring at distant points. It seems to see far more than we can. Xatu stands motionless from sunrise to sunset. Many believe it sees both past and future. Mareep's wool builds static as it moves. A whole flock can light an entire farm. Flaffy controls its static energy with surprising skill. Its wool is warm, but shockingly powerful. Ampharos acts as a living lighthouse. Its tail can guide travelers from miles away. Bellossom dances joyfully under the sun. Its petals release a light, tropical scent. Marill uses its buoyant tail as a float. It senses danger through vibrations in the water. Azumarill creates bubble nests along riverbanks. Its hearing underwater is incredibly sharp. Sudowoodo freezes in place to mimic a tree. Politoad's call signals the start of the rainy season. Whole swamps answer with their own croaks. Hoppip drifts wherever the wind carries it. Groups float together like pink dandelions. Skiploom rises higher when the sun is strong. Its petals open wide to absorb light. Jumpluff rides distant air currents across regions. Apom uses its tail like a skilled hand. It steals fruit with playful precision. Sunkern survives on minimal nutrients. It barely moves to save energy. Sunflora thrives in bright sunlight. Its cheerful dance marks the arrival of warm days. Yanma's wings beat fast enough to create shockwaves. It tracks prey with unmatched agility. Wooper wanders through swamps with a cheerful grin. Quagsire drifts lazily through the water. It bumps into things without caring. Espeon senses tiny shifts in the air. It predicts danger moments before it appears. Umbreon's rings glow softly in the moonlight. It moves silently through the night. Murkrow steals anything that shines. It remembers grudges for years. Slowking gains insight from the poison of its crown. It speaks calmly, as if always deep in thought. Misdreavus floats through old ruins, feeding on fear. Unknown drifts silently through ancient chambers. Their shapes resemble letters from a forgotten language. Wobbuffet stands still in the shadows, waiting patiently to counter any threat. Girafarig wanders calmly, its tail face watching even when it doesn't. Pineco hangs quietly from branches, ready to explode if disturbed. Foratrus clamps shut with a metallic snap, guarding what lies inside. Dunsparce burrows slowly, leaving long, winding tunnels behind. Gligar glides between cliffs, scouting with sharp claws. Steelix rumbles underground, its iron body grinding through stone. Snubbull growls bravely, trying to look tougher than it is. Granbull stands firm, its massive jaws showing real strength. Quillfish inflates fast, firing toxic barbs at anything too close. Scizor moves in a blur, its steel claws slicing clean through the air. Shuckle hides in its shell, quietly fermenting berries inside. Heracross charges headfirst, powered by raw determination. Sneasel prowls icy cliffs, its claws sharp in the frozen wind. Teddiursa licks honey from its paws with innocent delight. Ursaring stomps through forests, carving trees to mark its territory. Slugma crawls slowly, dripping molten magma with every move. Magcargo crackles with heat, its shell burning hotter than lava. Swinub sniffs snowdrifts, searching for food beneath the ice. Piloswine pushes through blizzards, its thick fur shielding the cold. Corsola brightens coral reefs, swaying gently with the tide. Remoraid shoots precise water jets, clinging beneath Mantine. Octillery blasts ink with perfect aim, defending its territory. Delibird waddles through snow, delivering gifts from its bundle. Mantine glides like a kite, cutting smoothly across calm seas. Skarmory's steel wings slice the sky with piercing screeches. Houndour hunts in packs, coordinating with sharp barks and fire. Houndoom's flames burn fiercely, said to scar the soul itself. Kingdra rules deep waters, creating whirlpools when angered. Phanpy plays joyfully, splashing water with its tiny trunk. Donphan curls into a ball and charges with crushing force. Porygon 2 moves flawlessly, perfectly adapted to digital space. Stantler's antlers shimmer mysteriously, bending space around them. Smeargle paints its world, leaving art wherever it goes. Tyrogue trains constantly, shaping its evolution through effort. Hitmontop spins at high speed, striking with perfect balance. Smoochum learns through curiosity, kissing everything it finds. Elekid spins its arms to charge, buzzing with bright energy. Magby breathes tiny embers, warming itself by molten rock. Miltank grazes peacefully, producing milk treasured everywhere. Blissey radiates warmth, soothing and healing those nearby. Raikou races like thunder, each step sparking the earth. Entei roars with volcanic force, shaking the land beneath. Suicune purifies water with every graceful step. Larvitar eats mountain stone, growing stronger underground. Pupitar rockets wildly, storing energy for evolution. Tyranitar reshapes mountains, feared for its overwhelming power. Lugia stirs storms with a single flap, hiding deep beneath the waves. Ho-Oh soars high, leaving glowing feathers drifting behind. Celebi drifts through time, appearing wherever nature needs protection. Trico clings to bark, its calm eyes reading every forest vibration. Grovyle slips between branches, its leaf blades whispering through the air. Sceptile watches from the canopy, its presence making the jungle pulse. Torchic hops softly, tiny embers glowing beneath its warm feathers. Combusken trains non-stop, its strong legs kicking with fiery rhythm. Blaziken erupts skyward, its blazing strikes shaking the rising heat. Mudkip burrows happily, sensing river currents through the muddy ground. Marshtomp splashes confidently, thriving in rising wetlands. Swampert stands unshaken, its power defying crashing storms. Poochyena prowls low, its yellow eyes tracking every movement. Mightyena moves in silence, its pack instincts razor sharp. Zigzagoon zigzags eagerly, sniffing everything in its path. Linoon darts forward, its straight-line sprint blindingly fast. Wurmple munches leaves, soft clicks marking its steady pace. Silcoon rests stiffly, protecting itself through quiet patience. Beautifly hovers gently, sunlight shimmering across its wings. Cascoon waits motionless, enduring weather with hardened resolve. Dustox circles lamplight, drawn instinctively to its warm glow. Lotad floats calmly, its leaf shielding it from harsh sun. Lombre splashes playfully, laughing at passing travelers. Ludicolo dances freely, moving in rhythm with falling rain. Seedot hangs still, blending perfectly with nearby acorns. Nuzleaf whistles softly, its hollow body shaping eerie notes. Shiftry summons gales, its presence feared like a forest spirit. Talo dives quickly, slicing through warm afternoon winds. Swellow soars high, gliding with confident, effortless control. Wingull cries sharply, riding gusts above the crashing waves. Pelipper glides slowly, guarding coasts with a watchful gaze. Ralts senses emotions, tiny pulses guiding its delicate steps. Curlier twirls gracefully, psychic light shimmering around it. Gardevoir stands protective, bending space to shield its own. Surskit skates lightly, gliding across ponds like fragile glass. Masquerain hovers boldly, spreading its wide, intimidating wings. Shroomish hides quietly, storing potent spores beneath its cap. Breloom strikes fast, its punches landing with explosive force. Slackoth lies motionless, conserving every drop of energy. Vigoroth leaps wildly, restless energy pushing constant motion. Slacking rests heavily, its immense strength needing no effort. Nincada digs deep, carving tunnels beneath ancient roots. Ninjask zips past, its wing beats too fast to see. Shedinja floats hollowly, its presence chilling the air. Whismer trembles softly, holding powerful cries within. Loudred stomps heavily, each step sending sharp vibrations. Extra bellows fiercely, its roar shaking distant caverns. Makuhita punches endlessly, training with unwavering spirit. Hariyama advances steadily, its calm strength overwhelming foes. Azuril bounces cheerfully, its tail acting like a spring. Nosepass stands firm, its body locked to magnetic pull. Skitty chases shadows, its playful leaps never-ending. Delcatty lounges elegantly, choosing comfort above all else. Sableye creeps quietly, gems glowing in its hungry grin. Morwile smiles innocently, its true power hidden behind jaws. Aron gnaws stone eagerly, feeding on iron-rich cliffs. Lairon guards mountains, its metal plates clashing loudly. Agron towers proudly, protecting territory with iron might. Meditite meditates deeply, its breathing calm and focused. Medicham strikes precisely, channeling perfect balanced power. Electric crackles softly, sparks building under its fur. Manectric charges storms, electricity running through its mane. Plusle cheers brightly, sparks flying with excitement. Minun supports gently, boosting allies with warm energy. Volbeat signals patterns, glowing trails dancing through night. Illumise guides their light, leading synchronized luminous swarms. Roselia blooms gracefully, petals shimmering with living color. Gulpin swallows rapidly, dissolving anything it consumes. Swalot engulfs threats, its body stretching impossibly wide. Carvanha snaps fiercely, darting through rivers like broken glass. Sharpedo rockets forward, its sleek body tearing water apart. Wailmer bursts upward, releasing joyful fountains of spray. Wailord drifts peacefully, its massive form gliding like an island. Numel wanders slowly, heat radiating from its rounded body. Camerupt erupts violently, magma surging beneath its humps. Torkoal exhales smoke, burning charcoal deep within. Spoink bounces endlessly, its heartbeat tied to motion. Grumpig dances rhythmically, psychic waves swirling around it. Spinder stumbles oddly, its swirls making every step unique. Trapinch waits silently, its jaws ready to snap shut. Vibrava hums sharply, shaking sand with its buzzing wings. Flygon rides desert winds, its song echoing across dunes. Cacnea stands firm, storing sun in its tough body. Cacturn follows quietly, lurking beneath moonlit shadows. Swablu drifts softly, clouds gathering around its wings. Altaria sings warmly, its melody calming the air. Zangoose stands ready, claws sharp with fierce resolve. Seviper coils smoothly, venom glinting in its gaze. Lunatone glows faintly, drifting like a silent moon fragment. Solrock burns brightly, radiating heat like a newborn sun. Barboach senses tremors, reading mud as if it were text. Wishcash stirs waters, shifting ponds with playful power. Corfish grabs quickly, defending territory with bold claws. Crawdaunt attacks fiercely, ruling rivers with brute strength. Baltoy spins lightly, ancient markings glowing faintly. Claydol stands motionless, protecting ruins with silent focus. Lileep sways gently, its tendrils moving like ancient coral. Cradily waits patiently, striking with sudden precision. Anorith scuttles fast, its sharp claws scraping stone. Armaldo stands armored, its heavy plates built for battle. Feebas struggles quietly, surviving where others cannot. Milotic rises gracefully, its beauty calming stormy waters. Castform shifts form, adapting instantly to changing skies. Kecleon fades smoothly, its colors blending with surroundings. Shuppet drifts softly, feeding on lingering negative emotions. Burnett hunts sharply, driven by an unsettling grudge. Duskull floats silently, its single eye glowing in darkness. Dusclops moves emptily, its hollow body swallowing all. Tropius glides gracefully, its leafy wings stirring warm breezes. Chimecho rings gently, its voice echoing through old halls. Absol watches quietly, appearing before looming disaster. Wynaut smiles brightly, reflecting every challenge with joy. Snowrunt shivers softly, surviving harsh winter winds. Glalie freezes air instantly, its icy glare stopping threats. Spheal rolls joyfully, its round body bouncing on ice. Celio balances proudly, clapping playfully at drifting waves. Walrein bellows deeply, ruling frozen shores with force. Clampearl hides tightly, its pearl-like shell gleaming faintly. Huntail prowls dark depths, its fanged mouth glowing softly. Gorbis glides elegantly, its ribbon-like body flowing gently. Relicanth endures silently, unchanged through ancient ages. Lovedisk flutters lightly, forming heart-shaped pairs in coral seas. Bagon rams rocks fiercely, dreaming desperately of flight. Shelgon hardens patiently, storing immense evolution energy. Salamence soars triumphantly, its wings shaking the sky. Beldum floats steadily, its magnet pulling it forward. Metang moves methodically, combining two minds into one. Metagross calculates coldly, its four brains acting in unison. Regirock stands immovable, its body carved from ancient stone. Regice chills air instantly, frost forming with every step. Registeel resonates softly, its metal structure impossibly durable. Latias glides swiftly, its warmth calming those it trusts. Latios streaks forward, its speed creating sharp blue trails. Kyogre summons rain, oceans rise up at its command. Groudon heats earth, continents trembling beneath its power. Rayquaza drifts above, quiet guardian of the sky's balance. Jirachi glimmers faintly, waking only to grant fleeting wishes. Deoxys descends swiftly, its shifting form adapting instantly. Turtwig absorbs gentle forest light, the damp soil on its shell growing fresh moss. Grottle carries a small garden on its back, shrubs rustling softly with hidden life. Torterra stands like a living continent, a lone tree rising from its stony shell. Chimchar warms itself on sunlit rocks, the flame on its tail flickering with each breath. Monferno balances on cliff edges, its tail fire glowing steady against the wind. Infernape rests atop a boulder, heat shimmering faintly around its calm, focused stance. Piplup preens its feathers on an icy shore, droplets freezing as they fall. Prinplup stands proudly on cracked ice, flippers pressed firmly into the frozen ground. Empoleon faces the open sea, steel-like wings folded tightly against the polar air. Starly gathers in small flocks on fence posts, feathers puffed up against the breeze. Staravia circles quietly above open fields, watching for movement in the grass below. Staraptor perches on a crooked branch, its sharp gaze fixed on the distant horizon. Bidoof works patiently by the riverbank, teeth worn from shaping fallen logs. Bibarel sits at the edge of its dam, water flowing steadily around its sturdy body. Cricketot clings to tall grass blades, its tiny antennae vibrating with soft rhythm. Cricketune stands among reeds, wings slightly parted, as if ready to play its song. Shinx crouches low in the undergrowth, tiny sparks gathering at its paws. Luxio stands alert on a rock, its mane bristling with faint electric tension. Luxray watches from the shadows of the trees, eyes glowing as it sees through obstacles. Bedew rests in the morning dew, its unopened buds beaded with tiny droplets. Roserade stands poised among flower beds, fragrant petals hiding its thorned hands. Cranidos inspects stone walls, its thick skull lightly tapping ancient rock. Rampados looms in quiet fossil fields, its head scarred from countless collisions. Shieldon shelters beneath an overhang, its shield-like face turned toward the cliff. Bastiodon forms an unmoving wall with its herd, faces aligned in unbreakable formation. Burmy hangs from a twig, its cloak made from whatever the environment provides. Wormadam blends into its surroundings, its cloak shifting with leaves, sand or trash. Mothim rests on a tree trunk at dusk, wings patterned to disappear against rough bark. Combi buzzes near blooming flowers, its three faces sharing one simple purpose. Vespiquen hovers over her hive, hexagonal cells glinting faintly behind her. Pachirisu perches on a branch, its fluffy tail wrapped around itself like a warm blanket. Weasel floats on its back in a gentle current, flotation sac keeping it perfectly stable. Floatzel waits near a waterfall's base, twin floats around its body, ready for sudden rescue. Cherubi clings to its branch, the smaller berry resting like a sleepy twin at its side. Cherim opens fully under strong sunlight, petals spreading joyfully toward the sky. Shellos creeps slowly along wet rocks, its soft body shining with seawater. Gastrodon settles in tidal pools, its patterned skin matching the rocky shoreline. Ambipom lounges on a tree limb, twin tail hands casually juggling fallen fruit. Drifloon bobs at the edge of an old path, its string swaying gently in the wind. Driftblim hovers over distant fields at twilight, its form drifting like a wayward cloud. Baneri curls into a ball, ears wrapped closely around its fluffy body. Lopunny stands gracefully in a clearing, long ears resting like a soft cloak. Mismagius floats over ruined stone, its voice a faint whisper in the cold air. Honchcrow watches from a rooftop, feathers dark as night against the moon. Glamiao sits atop a fence, tail coiled in a perfect spiral as it grooms. Perugly sprawls confidently on a doorstep, completely unbothered by passing footsteps. Chingling dangles from an old beam, its small body swaying with each tiny chime. Stunky stands with its back slightly turned, tail raised just enough as a warning. Skuntank guards the edge of its territory, its striped fur bristling with quiet threat. Bronzor lies half buried in the soil, its metal surface reflecting a warped sky. Bronzong rests in a forgotten shrine, faint echoes ringing from within its hollow frame. Bonsly stands perfectly still among rocks, tear-shaped eyes hinting at hidden emotion. Mime Jr. practices tiny pantomimes alone, invisible walls forming around its dance. Happiny hugs its precious oval stone, treating it like a fragile treasure. Chatot perches on a railing, head tilted as it memorizes every nearby sound. Spiritomb is sealed within a cracked keystone, ghostly faces swirling in its mist. Gibble lurks in small caves, jagged jaws poking out from piles of loose stone. Gabite guards its hoard of gems, polished stones stacked neatly near its nest. Garchomp rests half buried in warm sand, its fins just visible above the surface. Munchlax sits at the base of a tree, crumbs scattered generously around its feet. Riolu trains alone at sunrise, small paws clenched as it feels distant auras. Lucario stands motionless at an ancient altar, chest glowing faintly with inner energy. Hippopotas lies partially submerged in dry sand, nostrils barely visible above the grains. Hippowdon exhales a dusty breath, sand cascading slowly from its heavy jaws. Skorupi hides among cracked stones, tail tucked close yet poised to strike. Drapion rests beneath a dark outcrop, armor plates overlapping like a living tank. Krogunk sits near murky water, cheeks swelling slightly with stored toxin. Toxicroak leans against a rock face, poisonous claw pressed lazily to its chest. Carnivine hangs from low branches, jaws open in slow, patient anticipation. Finneon glides near the water's surface, pastel fins catching stray beams of light. Luminion clings to vertical rock walls, glowing patterns tracing lines in the deep. Mantike swims close to the sea floor, following larger shadows with trusting ease. Snover stands rooted in snow, evergreen top dusted with fresh white powder. Abomasnow towers over the forest, each step leaving a deep print in the drifts. Weavile crouches on icy ledges, claws tracing patterns in frozen stone. Magnezone hovers silently over metal-rich hills, magnets rotating with mechanical precision. Licky Licky slowly cleans its surroundings with its long tongue, leaving polished surfaces behind. Rhyperia stands firm on unstable cliffs, drill-like horn pointed toward distant threats. Tangrowth hides in thickets, tangled vines swaying gently with each breeze. Electivire grips a power pole, twin tails crackling with stored current. Magmortar sits near a lava pool, the openings of its arms glowing from internal fire. Togekiss glides peacefully above fields, its wings leaving soft trails in the air. Yanmega hovers above wetlands, compound eyes scanning every ripple below. Leafeon rests in a patch of sunlight, leafy fur rustling quietly like fresh grass. Glaceon lies on a bed of sparkling snow, icy fur refracting scattered light. Gliscor hangs upside down from a rocky ledge, wings folded tightly around its body. Mamoswine trudges through deep snow, ancient tusks jutting forward like frozen monuments. Porygon Z floats in mid-air, its body parts rotating at unsettling, disconnected angles. Gallade kneels in silent vigilance, bladed arms folded respectfully at its sides. Probopass anchors itself to a cliff face, tiny magnetic units orbiting its stony body. Dusknoir hovers at the mouth of a cave, single eye glowing steadily in the dark. Frostlass waits in the heart of an ice cave, kimono-like form framed by hanging icicles. Rotom flickers inside an old appliance, face appearing for a moment in reflected glass. Uxie sits with eyes gently closed, its presence radiating quiet knowledge. Mesprit drifts above a lake's surface, ripples forming gently where it hovers. Azelf floats near submerged ruins, tail curling softly as it watches in silence. Dialga stands within a cavern of glittering crystals, metal body echoing with each slow movement. Palkia emerges from warped space near a waterfall, its form distorting the air around it. Heatran clings to cavern ceilings, molten metal dripping faintly from its claws. Regigigas kneels among ancient pillars, chains hanging loosely from its immense arms. Giratina coils within a twisted landscape, wings stretching across fractured sky. Cresselia glides over sleeping villages, crescent wings leaving trails like soft moonlight. Fione bobs gently in warm currents, small body carried easily by the sea. Manaphy swims playfully among coral, jewel-like markings glowing beneath the waves. Darkrai stands at the edge of shadow, its outline flickering against dim starlight. Shaymin curls up in a bed of flowers, petals blooming brighter around its tiny form. Arceus hovers above a ring of ancient stone, glowing hooves never touching the ground. Victini darts playfully through hidden places, infinite energy fueling those it trusts. Snivy rests in warm sunlight, absorbing energy through its body while watching everything around it. Servine moves swiftly through dense vegetation, striking before opponents can react. Superior coils among ancient ruins, overwhelming enemies through pure presence rather than force. Tepig roots through soft soil, flames igniting instinctively when it senses danger nearby. Pignite trains relentlessly in open fields, fire flaring stronger with every strike. Embor stands firm on scorched ground, unleashing flames fueled by raw determination. Oshawott splashes along riverbanks, gripping its shell tightly as it learns to survive alone. Duot sharpens its scout chops beside flowing water, movements precise and disciplined. Samurott patrols rocky shores, leading silently as battle scars mark its armored body. Patrat freezes at the slightest sound, storing visual information with extreme caution. Watchog stands upright at the edge of tall grass, never lowering its guard. Lillipup trots across open paths, its sharp senses picking up even the faintest sounds. Herdia patrols rural areas faithfully, fur bristling as it protects its territory. Stoutland stands beside old roads, rescuing lost travelers with calm strength. Purloin slips through shadows at dusk, moving silently as it toys with its surroundings. Lipard stalks rooftops at night, striking swiftly before vanishing into darkness. Pansage darts through treetops, carefully nurturing plants with its leafy head to keep the forest alive. Simisage rules dense jungles, its sharp instincts and powerful limbs defending its territory with ease. Pansear thrives near volcanic heat, using flames atop its head to regulate temperature and stay energized. Simisear channels explosive fire, its fiery body flaring as it overwhelms opponents with reckless power. Panpour splashes playfully along riverbanks, using stored water to keep allies refreshed and hydrated. Simipour commands flowing water, releasing powerful streams that crash down with controlled force. Munna floats silently at dusk, feeding on dreams as pink mist leaks softly from its body. Mushana sleeps deeply in quiet forests, releasing thick dream smoke that reveals hidden visions. Pidav gathers near city squares, flapping nervously amid noise and movement. Tranquil glides above urban streets, navigating obstacles with steady precision. Unpheasant soars high between buildings, wings cutting clean arcs through open air. Blitzel races along abandoned rail lines, hooves sparking against metal tracks. Zeb Striker charges across open highways, lightning crackling fiercely along its mane. Roggen Roller remains motionless in rocky terrain, storing energy within its hardened body. Boldor shifts slowly through caves, crystals glowing brighter as pressure builds inside. Gigalith anchors itself deep underground, releasing stored power in sudden bursts. Woobat flutters erratically through dark tunnels, emitting ultrasonic waves to navigate. Swoobat circles cavern ceilings, movements guided entirely by sound. Drillbur digs tirelessly beneath soft earth, claws spinning through soil and stone. Excadrill bursts from the ground without warning, steel claws cutting through rock. Ordino moves gently through grasslands, sensing injuries with remarkable empathy. Timber carries heavy beams across construction sites, muscles growing with every task. Girder reinforces structures effortlessly, veins pulsing beneath tightened skin. Conkelder demolishes stone with precise strikes, concrete pillars serving as tools. Timpole wiggles through shallow puddles, vibrations rippling outward from its body. Palpitoad swells as it leaps between wetlands, shockwaves rolling through the ground. Seismitoad pounds the earth violently, seismic tremors spreading in all directions. Throw stands firm in training grounds, mastering techniques through disciplined repetition. Sork sharpens its strikes relentlessly, breaking barriers with focused precision. Sewaddle hides among fresh leaves, weaving clothing from natural fibers. Swadloon clings motionlessly to branches, conserving energy within its leaf cloak. Livani watches over forests quietly, crafting garments to protect others. Venipede crawls through undergrowth, poison seeping slowly from its sharp mandibles. Whirlipede rolls defensively across forest floors, armor absorbing incoming blows. Scolipede charges through open terrain, venom dripping as it overwhelms prey. Cottony drifts lightly on passing winds, scattering seeds across wide fields. Whimsicott rides air currents freely, causing sudden gusts wherever it goes. Petilil basks in warm sunlight, storing nutrients within its leaves. Lilligant dances gracefully through flower fields, releasing calming floral aromas. Basculin swims aggressively through fast currents, attacking anything that enters its domain. Sandile lurks beneath desert sand, eyes peering out as it waits patiently. Krokorok prowls dry wastelands, tracking prey with intense focus. Crocodile emerges from dust storms, jaws snapping with terrifying force. Darumaka curls tightly in hot environments, internal fire burning steadily. Darmanitan erupts into motion suddenly, flames blazing as it unleashes raw power. Maractus sways gently in desert sunlight, releasing rhythmic sounds that echo across the sands. Dwebble scuttles across rocky ground, sheltering itself inside stolen fragments of stone. Crustle carries massive slabs on its back, crushing terrain as it slowly advances. Scraggy tugs at its loose skin, headbutting enemies with surprising toughness. Scrafty guards its territory fiercely, hardened hide absorbing powerful blows. Sigilif drifts silently above ancient ruins, psychic energy radiating from its core. Yamask wanders forgotten paths, clutching a mask tied to memories of its past life. Cophagrigus stands immobile in ruins, golden body concealing a dangerous curse. Tirtuga paddles through shallow seas, ancient instincts guiding its movements. Caracosta crashes through waves, powerful jaws shattering rock and shell alike. Archon darts clumsily along cliff edges, wings still struggling to lift its weight. Archaeops glides briefly over canyons, power fading quickly when confidence breaks. Trubbish piles itself among refuse, toxic gases leaking from within its body. Garboda towers over landfills, absorbing waste as poison seeps endlessly outward. Zorua slips through forests unseen, creating illusions to confuse approaching threats. Zoroark emerges from deception, shifting reality itself through powerful illusions. Minchino cleans its surroundings obsessively, whiskers twitching at the slightest speck of dust. Chinchino darts effortlessly between obstacles, fur repelling dirt with perfect smoothness. Gothita watches silently from a distance, sensing emotions hidden within others. Gothorita manipulates psychic forces subtly, bending objects with quiet concentration. Gothitel stands motionless under open skies, predicting futures through starlight. Solosis floats gently through laboratories, gelatinous body shielding its fragile core. Duosian drifts lazily in sterile rooms, psychic energy pulsing unevenly inside. Reuniclus moves with calm precision, immense psychic power controlled effortlessly. Ducklet paddles across calm waters, splashing playfully as it learns to fly. Swanna glides gracefully over lakes, wings scattering water into shimmering arcs. Vanillite forms quietly in frozen air, body crystallizing from snowfall. Vanillish drifts through icy winds, chilling the ground wherever it passes. Vanillux stands firm in blizzards, releasing snowstorms from its frozen core. Deerling moves carefully through changing seasons, coat shifting with the environment. Sawsbuck strides through forests confidently, antlers reflecting the cycle of nature. Emolga leaps between treetops, gliding smoothly as electricity crackles faintly. Carablast charges headfirst into combat, shell hardening with each impact. Escavalier rushes forward relentlessly, armored body built for piercing strikes. Fungus waits motionless among grass, mimicking pokeballs to lure prey. Amoongus spreads wide across forest floors, releasing spores in heavy clouds. Frillish drifts beneath dark waters, eerie glow pulsing from its body. Jellicent rules sunken territories, tentacles ensnaring anything that drifts too close. Alomomola glides through open seas, healing wounded creatures it encounters. Joltik clings to larger Pokémon, siphoning electricity to sustain itself. Galvantula stretches webs across cave walls, sparks dancing between silken threads. Ferroseed clings to cavern ceilings, metal spikes dropping suddenly onto prey. Ferrothorn anchors itself in rough terrain, iron barbs spinning defensively. Clink rotates endlessly within factories, gears clicking in perfect rhythm. Clang spins faster as internal pressure builds, metallic echoes filling the air. Klinklang whirs loudly, releasing bursts of power through synchronized motion. Tynamo swims blindly through dark waters, emitting weak electric pulses. Electric slithers along riverbeds, shocking prey with sudden jolts. Electros emerges from the depths, electricity flowing freely through its limbless body. Elgium wanders silently beneath night skies, psychic waves pulsing from its glowing fingertips. Behem stands motionless in remote areas, manipulating memories with unsettling precision. Litwick flickers softly in dark corridors, guiding wandering souls with its faint flame. Lampant drifts through abandoned buildings, absorbing life energy as it glows brighter. Chandelure hangs silently from ceilings, eerie flames burning spirits into nothingness. Axew chews relentlessly on stone, sharpening its tusks through constant grinding. Fracture trains aggressively in open terrain, scars marking its relentless growth. Haxorus stands dominant in rocky plains, blades honed to slice steel effortlessly. Cubchoo sniffles quietly in snowy fields, icy breath forming at its nose. Beartick prowls frozen landscapes, powerful muscles driving it through deep snow. Cryogonal floats across icy air, crystalline body refracting cold light. Shelmet hides within its shell, conserving energy while awaiting evolution. Excelgor bursts forward suddenly, shedding armor to achieve incredible speed. Stunfisk lies flat beneath muddy ground, delivering electric shocks to unsuspecting prey. Mienfu practices fluid movements at dawn, balance improving with every motion. Mienshao strikes with blinding speed, flowing attacks never losing momentum. Drudigan lurks among jagged cliffs, hardened skin absorbing brutal impacts. Golett patrols ancient ruins tirelessly, following commands from a forgotten age. Golurk marches through desolate landscapes, body launching skyward with explosive force. Pawniard sharpens its blades constantly, honing combat instincts from birth. Bisharp commands groups from elevated ground, movements cold and calculated. Bouffalont charges across open plains, thick fur deflecting head-on collisions. Rufflet stands bravely despite its size, challenging threats far stronger than itself. Braviary soars proudly above vast canyons, fearless spirit driving it ever higher. Volibee huddles within scavenged bones, wings flapping awkwardly as it learns to survive. Mandibuzz circles barren skies, patiently waiting as decay feeds its strength. Heatmore prowls near termite nests, heated tongue melting through hardened defenses. Durant marches in massive colonies, steel jaws cutting clean tunnels through rock. Dino stumbles blindly through dark caves, heads snapping at anything nearby. Zvelas rampages uncontrollably, two minds fighting for dominance. Hydreigon hovers above ruined lands, destructive power barely restrained. Larvesta crawls through volcanic ground, internal fire keeping it alive in harsh conditions. Volcarona rises above ancient ruins, fiery wings blazing like a living sun. Cobalion stands watch over open plains, body unmoving as it protects the weak. Terrakion charges across rugged terrain, raw strength unleashed without hesitation. Virizion glides swiftly through forest paths, movements precise and elegant. Tornadus roams stormy skies, violent winds forming wherever it passes. Thunderous crackles with electricity above the clouds, lightning tearing through the air. Landorus descends calmly over fertile land, restoring balance in their wake. Reshiram burns brightly above ancient ruins, flames representing absolute truth. Zekrom looms within thunderclouds, electricity embodying unwavering ideals. Kuren stands frozen in desolation, hollow power radiating from its fractured form. Keldeo surges forward without hesitation, its mastery of water and combat honed through relentless training. Meloetta performs gracefully in quiet spaces, music shaping emotion and movement. Genesect awakens within abandoned facilities, ancient predator enhanced by modern machinery. Chespin scampers through dense undergrowth, its tough shell absorbing impacts as it forages for energy-rich plants. Quilladin moves steadily through forest paths, using its reinforced body to shield allies and break through obstacles. Chestnut stands like a living fortress, anchoring itself to the earth as it defends its territory with unwavering resolve. Fennekin watches silently from warm plains, focusing heat through its ears, to sharpen its psychic awareness. Braixen channels controlled flames through its wand-like branch, balancing intellect and fire with precise discipline. Delphox gazes into the future, mystical fire swirling as it bends flames and foresight into a single, calculated force. Froakie leaps across shallow waters, its foam-covered body cushioning every movement with effortless agility. Frogadier darts between shadows, using speed and water mastery to outmaneuver anything in its path. Greninja strikes from darkness, water blades forming instantly as it moves with lethal, silent precision. Bunnelby digs endlessly beneath the soil, carving tunnels with powerful ears to expand its underground network. Diggersby reshapes the land itself, using immense strength to move earth and stone with ease. Fletchling flutters across open skies, testing its wings as it searches for safe perches and food. Fletchinder soars above forests, embers trailing behind as it sharpens its hunting instincts. Talonflame dives at extreme speeds, igniting the air itself as it strikes with blistering force. Scatterbug clings to leaves, adapting rapidly as it absorbs energy from its surroundings. Spuper remains motionless, conserving strength as its body undergoes rapid internal transformation. Vivillon glides gracefully on patterned wings, spreading spores that reflect the climate it was born into. Litleo prowls sunlit grasslands, learning dominance through playful yet fierce competition. Pyroar roars across open plains, flames billowing as it asserts authority over its pride. Flabebe floats gently among flowers, drawing life energy directly from blooming petals. Floette drifts alongside its chosen flower, nurturing it as both grow stronger together. Florges commands entire fields, drawing vast power from floral life to protect its domain. Skiddo bounds across rocky hills, converting sunlight into energy with every step. Gogoat charges fearlessly through rough terrain, its horns stabilizing it across any surface. Pancham trains relentlessly, mimicking stronger fighters as it searches for its own identity. Pangoro towers over opponents, blending brute strength with a strict personal code of honor. Furfrou struts confidently, its fur shifting styles as it adapts to different environments and cultures. Esper stares blankly, struggling to contain overwhelming psychic power behind an emotionless facade. Meowstic releases controlled psychic waves, finally mastering the force it once suppressed. Honedge drifts silently, luring unsuspecting targets with its ancient, cursed blade. Doublade spins with deadly coordination, twin swords striking in perfect harmony. Aegislash shifts between offense and defense, commanding the battlefield with regal authority. Spritzy flutters through the air, releasing aromatic scents that alter emotions and perceptions. Aromatisse spreads powerful fragrances, manipulating moods and bonds with unseen influence. Swirlix bounces joyfully, its sugary body exuding sweet aromas that attract companions. Slurpuff detects subtle changes in scent, using its refined senses to uncover hidden threats. Inkay rotates unpredictably, confusing predators as it bends light and gravity around itself. Malamar dominates minds effortlessly, twisting thoughts as it enforces absolute control. Binacle clings to rocky shores, coordinating its twin claws to survive harsh tides. Barbaracle expands aggressively, overwhelming territory with sheer numbers and raw strength. Skrelp drifts among toxic waters, disguising itself as seaweed to ambush prey. Dragalge releases corrosive toxins, ruling polluted seas where few others can survive. Clauncher locks onto targets, compressing water into devastating blasts. Clawitzer fires high-pressure jets capable of piercing steel from vast distances. Helioptile absorbs sunlight greedily, converting solar energy into electrical power. Heliolisk dominates arid regions, radiating electricity fueled entirely by the sun. Tyrant charges recklessly, driven by primal instincts from an ancient era. Tyrantrum rules prehistoric lands, crushing rivals beneath its overwhelming jaws. Amora wanders frozen landscapes, its crystal fins glowing with polar light. Aurorus reshapes climates, releasing freezing waves that calm entire regions. Sylveon wraps opponents gently, its ribbon-like feelers radiating calming energy. Horlucha launches from great heights, combining aerial grace with explosive combat technique. Dedenne scurries through cities, storing electricity to power both attacks and allies. Carbink emerges from deep caverns, its gemstone body radiating ancient stability. Gumi slips along damp surfaces, its soft body absorbing impacts effortlessly. Sliggoo adapts to harsh weather, its body hardening while retaining flexibility. Goodra stands resilient, using immense strength tempered by gentle loyalty. Klefki jingles softly, guarding keys that unlock secrets long forgotten. Phantump whispers from hollow forests, born from lost spirits bound to trees. Trevenant controls the woodland itself, punishing those who harm its domain. Pumpkaboo floats playfully through the night, carrying wandering souls within. Gorgeist roams moonlit paths, releasing eerie cries that echo through darkness. Bergmite endures freezing storms, its icy body constantly regenerating. Avalug bulldozes through glaciers, reshaping frozen landscapes with sheer mass. Noibat navigates caves using ultrasonic waves, sensing the unseen world around it. Noivern unleashes devastating sound blasts, ruling the skies with sonic dominance. Xerneas radiates life itself, restoring balance wherever nature begins to fade. Yveltal absorbs the energy of all living things, leaving silent emptiness in its wake. Zygarde watches endlessly, enforcing equilibrium when ecosystems collapse. Diancie crystallizes the air, shaping flawless gems from pure carbon. Hooper bends space freely, summoning power and chaos from distant realms. Volcanion erupts with steam and fire, fusing raw heat and pressure into unstoppable force. Rowlet, measuring around 0.3 meters tall, glides silently through forest canopies, hunting with calm precision. Dartrix, at roughly 0.7 meters in height, moves cautiously through dense woodland, refining balance and awareness. Decidui, reaching about 1.6 meters tall, stalks its territory unseen, firing feathered arrows with lethal accuracy. Litten, about 0.4 meters tall, prowls volcanic slopes, storing internal heat for explosive bursts of power. Torracat growing to roughly 0.7 meters, trains relentlessly, building speed and strength through constant motion. Incineroar, towering near 1.8 meters, dominates its environment through raw power and intimidation. Poplio, measuring around 0.4 meters, swims playfully through tropical waters, shaping bubbles for movement and defense. Brionne, about 0.6 meters tall, practices precise aquatic maneuvers guided by rhythm and balance. Primarina, reaching approximately 1.8 meters, commands the ocean with powerful voice-based attacks. Pikipek, standing close to 0.3 meters tall, pecks relentlessly at trees, storing impact energy in its beak. Trumbeak, at roughly 0.6 meters in height, patrols forest edges, launching heated seeds with accuracy. Toucanon, growing to about 1.1 meters tall, rules the skies with explosive blasts from its massive beak. Yungoos, around 0.4 meters tall, hunts aggressively during daylight, relying on persistence over speed. Gumshoes, measuring about 0.7 meters, guards territory obsessively, overpowering threats with powerful jaws. Grubbin, at roughly 0.4 meters in length, burrows through soil and roots, chewing obstacles with stored electricity. Chargebug, about 0.5 meters tall, stores enormous electrical energy within its compact body. Vikavolt, reaching around 1.5 meters, unleashes devastating electric beams from above. Crabrawler, measuring roughly 0.6 meters, roams beaches and jungles, surviving through relentless punches. Crabominable, standing near 1.7 meters tall, endures frozen peaks, crushing opponents with icy claws. Oricorio, about 0.6 meters tall, channels elemental energy through ritualistic island dances. Cutiefly, measuring just 0.1 meters, flits between flowers, gathering pollen to fuel its rapid metabolism. Ribombi, at roughly 0.2 meters in height, spreads pollen across vast distances with incredible speed. Rockruff, around 0.5 meters tall, explores rocky terrain driven by loyalty and curiosity. Lycanroc, reaching about 0.8 meters, adapts its hunting style to time, terrain, and instinct. Wishiwashi, measuring only 0.2 meters individually, survives by merging into massive coordinated schools. Marini, about 0.4 meters tall, drifts through coral reefs, injecting toxins to deter predators. Toxapex, growing to roughly 0.7 meters, fortifies itself against all threats, ruling poisoned waters. Mudbray, standing near 1.0 meters tall, hauls heavy loads across muddy plains through pure endurance. Mudsdale, towering at around 2.5 meters, pulls enormous weight effortlessly, hardened by constant labor. Dewpider, measuring about 0.3 meters, skates across water surfaces, trapping air bubbles for survival. Araquanid, reaching roughly 1.8 meters, hunts underwater by crushing prey with water pressure. Fomantis, around 0.3 meters tall, hides among foliage, absorbing sunlight to grow stronger. Lurantis, standing near 0.9 meters, blends elegance and brutality, slicing foes with razor-sharp petals. Morlull, measuring about 0.2 meters, glows softly in dark forests, spreading energy-draining spores. Shinotic, reaching roughly 1.0 meters tall, manipulates bioluminescent light to lure prey. Salandit, about 0.6 meters tall, stalks volcanic caves, producing toxic gases for defense. Salazzle, growing to around 1.2 meters, controls its domain through pheromones and poison. Stuffle, measuring roughly 0.5 meters, appears harmless while hiding surprising physical strength. Beware, towering at about 2.1 meters, patrols forests with crushing power capable of breaking bone. Bounsweet, around 0.3 meters tall, rolls through grassy fields, storing nutrients for evolution. Steenie, measuring about 0.7 meters, sharpens balance and agility while defending itself fiercely. Sarina, standing near 1.2 meters tall, dominates plant-rich regions with devastating leg strength. Comfy, measuring only 0.1 meters, drifts between plants, arranging flowers to amplify healing energy. Oranguru, about 1.5 meters tall, survives deep jungles using intelligence rather than force. Persimmon, reaching roughly 2.0 meters, thrives on teamwork through strict group coordination. Wimpod, measuring around 0.5 meters, flees danger instinctively while scavenging along rocky shores. Golisopod, towering near 2.0 meters, emerges as a hardened predator with heavy armor. Sandygast, about 0.5 meters tall, forms from cursed beach sand, draining life from the careless. Palosand, standing roughly 1.3 meters tall, traps prey beneath collapsing dunes. Pyukumuku, measuring around 0.3 meters, remains motionless on reefs, expelling organs as defense. Type Null, reaching about 1.9 meters tall, was engineered for combat and restrained by a control mask. Silvally, standing near 2.3 meters, adapts instantly to any environment by reshaping its biology. Minior, measuring about 0.3 meters, survives atmospheric entry encased within a rocky shell. Komala, around 0.4 meters tall, sleeps continuously while relying on stored energy to survive. Turtonator, standing roughly 2.0 meters tall, defends itself with explosive, shell-based traps. Togedemaru, measuring about 0.3 meters, curls into a living lightning rod to discharge electricity. Mimikyu, standing near 0.2 meters tall, disguises itself in search of companionship. Bruxish, around 0.9 meters tall, stuns prey using psychic waves amplified by sharp teeth. Drampa, towering at roughly 3.0 meters, fiercely protects mountain villages despite its gentle nature. Delmise, reaching an imposing 3.9 meters, drifts through shipwrecks using haunted anchors to hunt. Jangmo-o, measuring about 0.6 meters, strengthens itself through relentless physical training. Hakamo-o, standing near 1.2 meters, hardens its scales through constant battle. Como-o, reaching around 1.6 meters tall, challenges entire ecosystems with thunderous, scale-based attacks. Tapu Koko, standing about 1.8 meters tall, guards island territories with swift electric force. Tapu Lele, measuring roughly 1.2 meters, manipulates psychic energy with unsettling calm. Tapu Bulu, reaching near 1.9 meters, reshapes forests through overwhelming physical strength. Tapu Fini, standing about 1.3 meters tall, controls ocean mists to protect sacred lands. Cosmog, measuring around 0.2 meters, drifts harmlessly through space-time, absorbing cosmic energy. Cosmoem, at roughly 0.1 meters tall, remains immobile while storing immense gravitational power. Solgaleo, towering at about 3.4 meters, embodies the sun as a living force of energy. Lunala, reaching roughly 4.0 meters, rules the night sky, manipulating lunar energy. Nihilego, measuring around 1.2 meters, drifts like a parasite, absorbing energy from hosts. Buzzwole, standing near 2.4 meters tall, exhibits extreme muscle density beyond natural limits. Pheromosa, reaching about 1.8 meters, moves with blinding speed and razor-sharp precision. Xurkitree, towering around 3.8 meters, generates massive electrical output through unstable conduits. Celesteela, reaching an immense 9.2 meters, launches itself into space using internal propulsion. Kartana, measuring just 0.3 meters, slices through steel with blade-like precision. Guzzlord, standing near 5.5 meters, consumes entire landscapes with endless hunger. Necrozma, measuring about 2.4 meters, absorbs light itself to sustain its fractured form. Magearna, standing roughly 1.0 meters tall, was engineered as a mechanical life form powered by a soul heart. Marshadow, measuring about 0.7 meters, hides within shadows, striking unseen. Poipole survives in toxic environments by naturally secreting venom through its body. Naganadel uses its lightweight frame and venomous stingers to hunt at extreme speeds. Stakataka functions as a single organism formed by hundreds of stone units. Blacephalon relies on erratic movement and explosive energy to disorient predators, blurring the line between organism and weapon. Zeraora generates electricity through rapid muscle contractions, allowing it to move faster than the eye can perceive. Meltan feeds on metal to sustain itself, using its malleable body to pass through solid structures unnoticed. Melmetal's liquid metal body continuously reshapes under extreme pressure, granting it immense strength and durability. Grookey beats on anything it finds with its stick, using rhythm and sound to stimulate growth. Thwackey sharpens its wooden sticks with precision, coordinating swift attacks through constant drumming. Rillaboom commands battle with thunderous drumbeats, unleashing shockwaves through its massive drum. Scorbunny is hyperactive and always running, igniting flames in its feet to boost speed. Raboot fights with disciplined kicks, controlling fire with focused footwork and precision. Cinderace dominates battles like a striker, launching blazing fireballs with perfect accuracy. Sobble is timid and emotional, turning invisible by blending into water when threatened. Drizzile relies on stealth and strategy, firing precise water shots from its fingertips. Inteleon acts like a secret agent, using high-pressure water bullets from afar. Squovit hoards berries obsessively, panicking whenever its food supply feels threatened. Greedent consumes endlessly, storing energy in its tail for long survival. Rookidee is fearless despite its size, constantly challenging much stronger opponents. Corvisquire patrols the skies, sharpening aerial tactics through constant combat. Corviknight rules the air as armored steel, feared and respected across Galar. Blipbug is highly intelligent but weak, constantly observing everything around it. Dottler remains motionless inside its shell, focusing on psychic energy growth. Orbeetle manipulates psychic waves, controlling enemies with radar-like precision. Nickit survives through cunning theft, stealing food before vanishing unseen. Thievel plans escapes carefully, distracting foes while slipping away unnoticed. Gossifleur spreads healing pollen, restoring vitality to plants and Pokémon. Eldegoss scatters nutrient-rich cotton, revitalizing land wherever it drifts. Wooloo rolls away from danger, relying on thick wool to absorb impact. Dubwool charges fiercely, using elastic wool and powerful horns in combat. Chewtle bites anything nearby, relying on brute force over intelligence. Dreadnought ambushes prey, crushing enemies with massive jaws from land or water. Yamper generates electricity while running, chasing anything that grabs attention. Boltund sprints at extreme speeds, releasing electric bursts through its legs. Roly-Coly stores burning coal inside its body, rolling endlessly for energy. Carcoal burns hotter as it evolves, venting smoke and flames constantly. Colossal erupts with molten power, functioning like a towering living furnace. Applin hides inside apples, protecting its fragile body through clever disguise. Flapple soars using acidic wings, striking enemies with corrosive force. Appleton moves gently, releasing sweet aromas that calm all nearby. Silicobra curls defensively, manipulating sand to shield itself from danger. Sandaconda compresses sand into crushing coils, trapping opponents effortlessly. Cramorant swallows prey whole, often firing fish or Pikachu when startled. Arrokuda darts through water at incredible speed, driven purely by instinct. Barraskewda strikes like a missile, piercing foes with unmatched velocity. Toxel stores unstable energy, crying loudly when toxic power overflows. Toxtricity amplifies poison and sound, shredding enemies with electric blasts. Sizzlipede coils around prey, burning them slowly with stored heat. Centiscorch unleashes infernos, wrapping enemies in blazing coils. Clobbopus trains relentlessly, strengthening its tentacles through non-stop combat. Grappaloct grapples foes aggressively, refusing to release its crushing grip. Sinistea is born from haunted tea, quietly draining energy from the careless. Poltergeist shatters spirits, pouring cursed tea into unsuspecting victims. Hatena senses emotions, attacking anyone overwhelmed by strong feelings. Hatram patrols silently, punishing those who disrupt emotional balance. Hatterene suppresses emotions violently, silencing areas with psychic force. Impidimp feeds on negativity, provoking fear and chaos for amusement. Morgrem fights unfairly, using cruelty and tricks to weaken opponents. Grimmsnarl weaponizes its hair, overpowering enemies with brutal strength. Obstagoon blocks attacks aggressively, countering with reckless full-force strikes. Berserker lives for battle, growing stronger through constant warfare. Cursula's coral body radiates a faint glow, formed from the lingering spirit of coral destroyed by harsh seas. Sirfetch'd faces foes with honor, wielding its leek like a knight. Mr. Rhyme confuses enemies, dancing across icy ground with rhythmic control. Runerigus traps souls within cursed stone, spreading ancient malice. Milcery evolves through trust, transforming sweetness into power. Alchemy supports allies, sharing nourishing cream infused with emotion. Phalanx charges in formation, fighting as a perfectly coordinated unit. Pincurchin absorbs electricity, storing energy within its sharp spines. Snom survives extreme cold, hiding quietly beneath layers of snow. Frostmoth spreads icy scales, chilling the air with silent wings. Stonjourner stands immovable, gathering energy through absolute stillness. Icecube protects itself with solid ice, repairing its head when shattered. Indeedee senses emotional needs, dedicating itself to serving others. Morpeko shifts forms with hunger, unleashing erratic electric attacks. Cufant lifts heavy loads with its trunk, training constantly. Copperaja devastates terrain, crushing everything with immense weight. Dracozolt moves awkwardly, combining ancient power with unstable energy. Arctozolt generates electricity to survive harsh, freezing environments. Dracovish overwhelms prey with terrifying jaw strength and speed. Arctovish strikes swiftly in frozen waters despite clumsy movement. Duraludon towers like a skyscraper, firing energy beams precisely. Dreepy drifts silently, haunting areas while seeking stronger hosts. Drakloak protects Dreepy, launching them directly at enemies. Dragapult attacks at supersonic speed, firing its offspring like missiles. Zacian embodies heroic power, slicing through enemies with legendary speed. Zamazenta stands unbreakable, shielding allies from all harm. Eternatus radiates unstable energy, warping reality with overwhelming force. Kubfu trains in isolation, sharpening body and spirit through discipline. Urshifu, single strike, crushes foes with ruthless, overwhelming dark power. Urshifu, rapid strike, flows like water, striking endlessly with precision. Zarude moves through jungles with savage agility, ruling its territory. Regieleki crackles with extreme speed, unleashing boundless electric energy. Regidrago releases ancient dragon power from its condensed core. Glastria charges brutally, freezing everything beneath its heavy steps. Spectria gallops through shadows, draining life with chilling presence. Calyrex rules with calm intelligence, guiding others through psychic power. Calyrex Ice Rider combines control and strength, crushing foes with ice. Calyrex Shadow Rider merges speed and terror, striking with ghostly force. Weirdeer navigates frozen highlands with steady precision, its hardened antlers sensing subtle shifts in air and terrain. Cleavor moves like a living relic, its stone axes shaped by centuries of erosion. Ursaluna emerges under the crimson glow of the moon, its massive frame guided by instinct and scent. Bascu Legion drifts through cold rivers and open waters, propelled by the lingering will of lost souls. Sneasler scales sheer cliffs with effortless speed, its claws gripping ice and stone alike. Overquill floats silently in dark waters, its toxic spines expanding in moments of threat. Enamorous moves with controlled grace through shifting skies, its presence altering wind and weather patterns. Sprigatito absorbs sunlight through its fur, sharpening its senses as it moves silently through vegetation. Florigato refines its agility, using flexible movements and razor-sharp leaves to control close combat. Meowscarada blends illusion and speed, striking from the shadows before disappearing without a trace. Fuecoco stores excess heat within its body, releasing uncontrolled flames as a defensive instinct. Crocalor stabilizes its inner fire, using sound vibrations to regulate combustion. Skeledirge channels volcanic energy through its voice, turning sound into destructive force. Quaxley maintains constant discipline, using clean, precise movements to dominate aquatic terrain. Quaxwell trains relentlessly, refining balance and coordination for high-speed engagements. Quaquaval fights like a performer, combining rhythm, power, and fluid motion into overwhelming offense. Lechonk survives through adaptability, feeding constantly to build endurance in hostile environments. Oinkalone uses its dense body mass and heightened senses to protect territory and intimidate rivals. Tarantula creates elastic traps, using silk tension to immobilize prey far larger than itself. Spidops constructs complex hunting zones, manipulating terrain through calculated web placement. Nimble relies on sudden acceleration, darting unpredictably to avoid larger predators. Lowkicks ambushes targets from above, striking with bladed limbs before enemies can react. Pawmi generates static electricity through movement, discharging power via physical contact. Pawmo amplifies its electrical output, sustaining prolonged combat through repeated strikes. Pawmot converts stored electricity into life energy, reviving allies through direct contact. Tandemouse survives as a unit, relying on coordination and numbers rather than strength. Mousehold overwhelms threats through collective movement, functioning as a single organism. Fido ferments naturally over time, its elastic body resisting physical damage. Daxbun hardens through heat exposure, developing thermal resistance that turns fire into fuel. Smoliv stores nutrients within its body, slowly accumulating energy to survive harsh climates. Doliv matures by conserving resources, becoming more resilient as it absorbs sunlight. Arboliva anchors itself to the land, releasing restorative energy that reshapes its environment. Squawkabilly uses aggressive vocal displays to dominate territory and provoke rivals. Knackley absorbs minerals from its surroundings, crystallizing its body for protection. Knacklestack reinforces itself by stacking hardened salt, increasing defensive mass. Garganicle weaponizes purified salt, extracting moisture from anything it strikes. Charcadet burns with unstable energy, constantly searching for combat to evolve. Armarouge channels psychic force through heavy armor, turning fire into controlled artillery. Cerulege converts hatred into flame, striking with spectral blades fueled by resentment. Tadbulb generates bioelectricity through elastic organs that pulse with stored charge. Bellybolt amplifies electrical output by expanding its body, releasing devastating surges. Wattrel rides ocean winds, building static energy through high-speed flight. Kilowattrel discharges massive electrical arcs, striking targets from extreme range. Mastiff survives through intimidation, using raw aggression to mask vulnerability. Mabostiff protects its pack with unbreakable resolve, fighting through pain and exhaustion. Shroodle marks territory with toxic saliva, weakening prey over time. Grafii spreads corrosive toxins, turning urban environments into hunting grounds. Bramblin drifts endlessly, moved by wind as it absorbs lingering life energy. Brambleghast controls its movement through spectral force, attacking by violent rotation. Toadschool mimics fungal life, escaping threats by rapidly folding its limbs. Toadscruel manipulates terrain with elastic tentacles, overwhelming enemies through reach. Clawf clings to cliffs with immense strength, ambushing prey from vertical surfaces. Capsicid produces volatile compounds, using spice as both defense and deterrent. Scovillain regulates extreme heat, unleashing fiery attacks fueled by chemical reactions. Relor compacts soil and nutrients, shaping survival through relentless labor. Rabska generates psychic fields, preserving life energy within floating orbs. Flittle floats using weak psychic power, drifting with minimal control. Espathra accelerates neural processing, overwhelming foes with sudden psychic bursts. Tinkertink scavenges metal relentlessly, forging weapons far larger than itself. Tinkertuff strengthens through repetition, refining raw force into controlled strikes. Tinkerton hunts steel types, wielding massive hammers forged from stolen materials. Wiglet burrows beneath sand, striking without warning before retreating underground. Wugtrio coordinates rapid attacks, overwhelming prey through synchronized movement. Bombardier drops improvised weapons from above, executing aerial ambushes. Finizen thrives socially, drawing strength from proximity to others. Palafin conceals its true power, transforming only when allies are in danger. Varoom burns toxic fuel internally, propelling itself through unstable combustion. Revavroom weaponizes pollution, accelerating violently while spreading corrosive exhaust. Cyclizar adapts perfectly to human environments, functioning as both mount and survivor. Orthworm coils its hardened body, resisting metal attacks while tunneling endlessly. Glimmet absorbs toxic minerals, glowing as chemical reactions intensify. Glimora releases crystalline poison, turning its body into a living hazard. Grivard drains ambient life force, sustaining itself through spectral attachment. Houndstone manifests grief as power, striking with energy formed from loss. Flamigo maintains constant tension, fighting through balance and precision. Citodl builds mass rapidly, insulating itself against freezing waters. Cetitan dominates icy terrain, using raw weight and momentum to crush prey. Veluza slices through water at extreme speed, shedding excess flesh for bursts of power. Dondozo functions as a living ecosystem, sustaining others within its massive body. Tatsugiri manipulates stronger Pokémon, surviving through deception rather than strength. Annihilate abandons mortality itself, transforming rage into eternal combat power. Clodsire absorbs toxins safely, thriving in environments lethal to others. Farigiraf processes threats from multiple perspectives, reacting instantly to danger. Dunsparce survives through redundancy, relying on durability rather than evolution. Kingambit commands through dominance, growing stronger as allies fall. Great Tusk embodies primal strength, tearing through terrain with ancient power. Screamtail weaponizes sound, destabilizing enemies through sonic force. Brute Bonnet thrives on aggression, drawing strength from ancient instincts. Fluttermane exists between worlds, attacking with speed that defies perception. Slitherwing channels solar energy, combining brute force with insect ferocity. Sandy Shocks distorts electromagnetic fields, destabilizing everything nearby. Iron Treads advances relentlessly, crushing obstacles with mechanical precision. Iron Bundle weaponizes extreme cold, moving faster than organic limits allow. Iron Hands converts stored energy into devastating physical force. Iron Jugulis rains destruction from above, combining flight with overwhelming firepower. Iron Moth radiates lethal heat, sustaining itself through perpetual combustion. Iron Thorns absorbs electrical energy, releasing catastrophic surges. Frigibax stores cold internally, preparing for future evolution. Arctibax sharpens its frozen blade, adapting offense through balance and control. Baxcalibur dominates through sheer mass, freezing entire battlefields. Gimmighoul survives through obsession, hoarding energy one coin at a time. Goldengo transcends material form, existing as living wealth and energy. Wochien drains vitality, weakening entire ecosystems through cursed roots. Qianpao slashes with merciless speed, embodying destruction. Ting-Lu anchors itself to the earth, crushing everything beneath its weight. Chi-Yu burns endlessly, warping reality with cursed flames. Roaring Moon reflects ancient dominance, hunting with primal fury. Iron Valiant merges combat styles, striking with lethal efficiency. Koraidon adapts through survival instinct, embodying prehistoric resilience. Miraidon manipulates energy itself, transcending organic limitations. Walking Wake controls ancient waters, bending pressure and motion. Iron Leaves strikes with surgical precision, blending speed and psychic force. Diplin defends itself through layered sweetness, trapping enemies in sticky terrain. Poltergeist inhabits abandoned vessels, sustaining itself through lingering warmth. Sinistra drains vitality slowly, turning hospitality into a weapon. Okidogi enforces loyalty through brute strength and toxins. Munkidori manipulates others mentally, thriving on deception. Fezandipiti controls influence through charm, bending perception itself. Ogerpon adapts masks to survive, reshaping identity through necessity. Archaludon stabilizes itself through conductivity, converting electricity into structural power. Hydrapple overwhelms prey with relentless pressure, striking from all directions. Gouging Fire radiates primal heat, scorching the land itself. Raging Bolt commands storms, channeling ancient thunder. Iron Boulder advances without hesitation, breaking defenses through momentum. Iron Crown dominates mentally, overwhelming enemies through psychic authority. Terrapagos regulates terrestrial energy, maintaining balance across reality. Pecharunt manipulates desire, corrupting others through toxic temptation.